Today, you're going to find out the single most valuable and overlooked marketing action for courses and coaches. We're talking all about testing, what you get when you test, how to test, and what you can test first. Of course, testing is the second T in our very best ad strategy for courses and coaching, the 3T ad success strategy, so you can make your ads work every time, customize your advertising for your specific offers, audience, and business, and start to become profitable faster so you can put $1 in and get $3 or $5 or $10 back out. Testing is actually what I like to call profit part one. If we haven't met before, I'm Josh, and I am here to inspire and empower you to advertise your courses and coaching. Let the world know who you are, what it is that you have to offer, and fulfill the purpose and mission you have to do more good in the world. I love coaches and courses, and we know how hard it can be to market and advertise your courses and coaching. So what is testing and why is it so overlooked? You might already be familiar with the idea of split testing or A/B testing. And if not, no worries. Testing is simply giving your people multiple options of something similar and then letting them choose. This is exactly like what happens on American Idol or Pop Idol when the audience gets to call in and choose their favorite performer. Whoever gets the most calls stays. Whoever gets the least leaves. And the exact same thing happens with your ads. Whichever options you give get the most results stay, and whichever gets the least results, they leave. There are two super important things about testing. One, people love options. Everyone loves options. So when you give your people options, they start to see you as generous and caring and curious about them. And two, think of how excited those people are in the audience on American Idol. That's exactly the same energy that you want to give to your audience. Joyful, fun, very excitable. That is a super first step in your customer journey. In a more intimate context, it's also kind of like having a dinner party. If you're having family or friends over, it's really common to ask them, what do they like to eat? What can't they eat? What do they have an allergy to? Testing is just the same. You want your audience, who might become more like friends or family, to have a great experience with you. Everyone gets what they want. Your audience gets more of what they want and feel good about, and you get the results you want more quickly and less expensively. When you give your audience options like this, they engage more, they give you results more quickly, and they also feed the algorithm in that cycle of awesome. This ensures that your ads cost as little to begin with as possible and then get lower and lower and lower. That is pretty priceless. You also get to know them faster too. Testing is the fast track to KLT, know, like, and trust. For courses and coaching, when you have a larger ticket or larger priced offer, and your customer journey may just be that little bit longer, entering the KLT zone as quickly as possible helps tremendously. And don't forget, KLT is a two-way street. As your audience starts to know, like, and trust you, you also get to know and like your audience more, and then trust that they will ultimately buy your larger priced ultimate offer. Why do people skip testing or miss it? Why is it so overlooked? Many people are often just trying to get very directly to a big sale and profits. but they often skip right over KLT. If you want people to spend $200 or more likely $2,000 or even $20,000 with you, it's so important that you let people have the chance to get to know you and, more importantly, trust you with their investment in you and your services. Always remember, great testing happens from the start. It's not something to think about later. When you create your first high-performing ads, you will never create one single ad. You will always create multiple ads and test something out. What do you test then? Ultimately, you're going to test everything out. If there's a version of something that you can offer, you will test everything out until you start getting a cost per result you can feel great about. You will push your costs as low as they possibly can go with testing. You can test your audiences out to see which segments of your audience give you the best and least expensive results. Even more consistently, you get to test your content. What goes into the ad itself that your audience actually sees? What parts of your content do you start with? Here's your pro tip of the day. I highly recommend that you always start testing your creative element. And that means your images or your videos. As highly visual beings, your audience will almost always engage first with your image or your video. So if you're going to create a video for an ad, go ahead and create 2 or 3 videos. And then you can test which of those videos your audience connects with most and actually prefers. Here's another pro tip. Especially for videos, your hook truly matters. Your hook is those first couple of seconds where you get to hook or get your audience's attention and stop them from scrolling. And you don't need to do anything crazy. You just need to start with what really matters to your audience and what they want. No jumping off buildings required. For courses and coaches, the one thing required for the 3T ad success strategy to really work is testing. It's so great to start with strong targeting, but you want to immediately follow it with very strong testing so that you can give your audience the more options that they want. So you let them know, like, and trust you as fast as possible while you get to know, like, and trust them. And most of all, so you can move them along your customer journey in the most joyful, excited way possible. How will you know what worked with your testing? That's what we're going to dive into in the next video, all about tracking. Because it's never just all about the numbers, but something much better and far more interesting. Let's find out now more about tracking for courses and coaches.